What if Breaking Bad didn't have to happen? Not in the sense of a different story, but in the sense that Walter White, at multiple points, could have simply walked away. No empire, no Heisenberg, no drug war, just a man going back to his life. But the truth is, this story isn't about how Walter White was forced into becoming something else. It's about the exact moment he stopped choosing to leave. And once you see it, you realize Breaking Bad was never about descent. It was about permission. At the beginning, Walter White is not a kingpin. He's not dangerous. He's not even respected. He's a high school chemistry teacher, quietly frustrated with life, quietly invisible. And when he gets his diagnosis, something shifts, not immediately into crime, but into justification. At first, everything sounds reasonable. He tells himself it's for his family. He tells himself it's temporary. He tells himself he's just solving a problem. And at this stage, Walter still believes there is an exit. He still believes there's a point where he can stop. That belief is what makes everything that follows possible, because every step forward is still framed as reversible. Even when he starts cooking, even when he meets Jesse, even when the money starts coming in. In his mind, he hasn't become someone new. He's just visiting a worse version of himself. And that distinction matters more than anything. Because as long as he believes he can leave, he won't notice when he stops being able to. The real turning point doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small negotiations with himself. The first time he lies and gets away with it. The first time he realizes fear can be used as control. The first time money stops feeling like desperation and starts feeling like power. Each moment is small enough to justify, small enough to ignore. But together, they start closing doors he doesn't even see. And here's where the illusion becomes dangerous. Walter still thinks he's choosing, but slowly, the options are disappearing. Not externally, but internally. Because every time he crosses a line and survives it, that line stops existing as a barrier. It becomes a memory, a reference point he's already passed. There are still moments where he technically could leave, after conflicts, after victories, after losses. But by then, leaving would mean admitting something he is no longer willing to face, that everything he has done so far was a choice, not survival. And that realization becomes more terrifying than the world he is in. So where is the moment he could have walked away? It's not one scene. It's a pattern that collapses into clarity. It's when consequences stop meaning, I should stop, and start meaning, I need to adapt. When danger stops being a warning and becomes part of the job. At that point, Walter is no longer reacting to the life he built. He is maintaining it. And that is the real point of no return. Because once you maintain something, you start protecting it. And once you protect it, you start defending it. And once you defend it, walking away becomes betrayal, not of other people, but of yourself. That is why he can't leave anymore. Not because he physically can't, but because the version of him that could have left no longer exists in his mind. After that, everything becomes inevitable. Not because choices disappear, but because he stops recognizing them as exits. Every obstacle becomes something to overcome, not avoid. Every threat becomes something to eliminate, not escape. And that is what makes him dangerous. Not intelligence, not chemistry, but commitment to the identity he created. Because at a certain point, Walter White is no longer trying to survive his decisions. He is trying to justify them, and the more he justifies them, the less he can reverse them. So, when people ask when Walter White could have walked away, the answer is uncomfortable. He could have walked away many times, but the real turning point wasn't when he lost the ability. It was when he stopped looking for it. Because Breaking Bad isn't about a man forced into darkness. It's about a man who slowly stopped checking for the door behind him. And by the time he finally looked back, he had already built his entire life inside the room.